Hello, my name is MOHAMAD bin FAIZUL, and my team MOHAMAD Shauqi bin Mohamad and also SHAYFI bin Mohamad. So today we will present about asset and inventory management about our case study in ORS technology. Okay, so for introductions, so at ORS technology we have additive manufacturing department. So we provide the 3D printing machine, we provide 3D printing scanning, so we have spare part for filament, and last we have filaments or material used for print at 3D printing machines. So we must categorize the the machine and 3D scanning filament spare part with their own value. So we separate like their category, the low, medium, and high priority and high value. So we must monitoring, accurate tracking, and prioritization to maintain the critical resource.
Hello, my name is Muhammad SHAYFI bin Mohamad No, and my metric number is 211543279. And right now I want to explain the objective of the case study. Okay, the objective is, first is identify and elucidate essential methodologies for managing fixed assets such as a 3D printer and scanner, as well as the inventories including raw material, consumables, spare parts, work in progress item, and finishing goods. Okay, second is evaluate the influence of these management approaches on production efficiency, cost optimization, product quality, and customer happiness. Okay, third is examine the typical difficulties encountered in asset and inventory management in the 3D printing and scanning sectors. And lastly is to propose strategy to strengthen asset and inventory management in order to facilitate uninterrupted production, uphold superior quality standards, and improve overall operational efficiency.
Alright, what is asset and inventory? Okay, right. First thing first, asset are resources owned by a company that have economic value and are expected to provide future benefits. They can be tangible and intangible. So next is inventory. Inventory is a current asset that includes goods and material business holds for the purpose of resale or production. Okay, next let's see the asset versus inventory. Let me compare what is means asset and what is means inventory. Okay, the asset are long-term investment, typical expenses owned by business, managed for productivity. So what is inventory? Short-term investment, smaller, less expensive, usually purchased from suppliers, and last, managed for profitability.
Okay, so for the first one of these discussions, so I have separate them to their categories. So first we have 3D printers and 3D scanners. So this is the main point we are doing our business. So 3D printers is for 3D printing services and 3D scanner for 3D scanners services. So this is the fixed asset, and we must high prioritize for these two machine. So this is very expensive. So the next we have a raw material, filament, powder, and resin. So the filament PLA is quite cheaper, but the powder and resin for SLA and metal machine is quite expensive. So this is the fixed asset because how we can produce the products if we don't have the raw material. So we must the high priority for this type of products because this is the main product for our services. So last part is consumable part and spare part. So consumable like a nozzle, like a filament gauge, like a gauge for we calibrate the level or bed leveling. So this is a priority we can place like a medium to high, because this despite quite cheaper, and we also can get easier at online. So we can set them to uh, medium priority. So this is the we category like high value item, because this is the main part for our services.
Okay, next I want to explain the categorization and prioritize based on value and critically. Okay, the categorization is based on 3 terms: high priority, medium priority, and last is low priority. Okay, for high priority is the 3D printer and 3D scanner. 3D printer and 3D scanner is a core to the production process. Any downtime directly impact productivity. Okay, second is raw material. Okay, without them, production cannot proceed, affecting delivery timeline and customer certifications. Okay, lastly is the software and license. Okay, the software and license is critical for the functionality and efficiency of the product equipment. Okay, second is the medium priority. Okay, the medium priority is the consumable and spare parts. Okay, the consumable and spare part essential for maintenance and smooth operation, but can be managed with proper inventory control. Okay, second is the finished good. Okay, the finished good is the important for sale and revenue, but less critical than production equipment and materials. Okay, lastly is the support equipment. Support equipment is necessary for operations, but secondary to the core production asset. Okay, lastly the low priority. Okay, for low priority is the prototyping materials. Okay, for prototyping materials is very useful for a development, but not immediately critical to the main production process.
So, prioritization strategy. Critical asset on high priority. Ensure these are always available in optimal condition. Implement regular maintenance and immediate replacement policies, and keep backup supply and redundancy. Next is essential but secondary asset on medium priority. Maintain adequate stock level to avoid production interruption. Next, schedule regular inventory review and reorder point. So next is non-critical asset on low priority. Manage periodic inventory check. Ensure they are available but do not overstock.
Okay, for the third discussion, so we have first we suggest about identify the requirements. So identify the requirements is we must tracking the raw material and the machines using progress. So we must take note and we have to do a checklist. So we know the machine use quite every day we use or rare we use, because we must tracking for the services. So next we must have a shortlisting system. So shortlisting system we must do for the filament or material, like first PLA, so we have resin UV, and last powder for metal. So this is I very highlight about this, because if we lack of these products or this material, we cannot do our productions. So next we must have the support and training. So if support and training, we must have if we have problems like 3D printing machine doesn't work in a good condition, so we can contact the vendor or supplier to help us to give the suggestion or solve the problem for 3D printing machine or 3D scanning. So last is evaluating ethical and professional implications. So in this point we have data security and privacy, transparent and accountability, so vendor reputation and practices, and so lastly the regulatory compliance.
Okay, for next discussion, okay, the question is tell us about a time when you identify an ethical challenge or dilemma related to asset management within an organization. How did you address the challenge while ensuring the integrity of the inventory management process? Okay, I will tell you first. We will conducting a true audit. Okay, the audit. We will initiate a comprehensive audit of the inventory management system to identify the extent of discrepancy and pinpoint where the issue were occurring. Okay, next is the audit will include physical counts of materials, spare part and finished good cross-reference with digital records. Okay, second, we will implementing a robust tracking system. Okay, we will recommend and oversaw the implementation of an advanced inventory management system that provide real-time tracking and transparent record keeping. Okay, next is the system include RFID tagging for all material and products, ensuring accurate automatic logging of inventory movements. Okay, thirdly is we will establish clear policies and procedures. Okay, we will develop a clear policy regarding the use of company asset, explicitly prohibiting personal use without proper authorization. Okay, second is we will create detailed procedures for inventory management, including regular check, reconciliation, and access control. Okay, lastly, we will provide training and education. Okay, we will introduce a check-in and a check-out system for high-value asset like 3D printing and scanner, requiring employees to log their usage. Second is we will assign specific personnel as inventory, maintaining accurate record and reporting discrepancy immediately.
Alright, discussion number 4. How do you stay updated on ethical standard and regulation related to asset management and inventory system? Can you provide an example of a time when you apply this ethical standard to a real life inventory management scenario? So I got 4 items to explain for this discussion. For the first item is continuous education. Regularly attend webinar, workshop, and training session offered by industry bodies and professional organizations. Enroll in course related to asset management, inventory system, and ethical practice. So the second thing is professional membership. Okay, maintain membership in professional organizations such as the Institute of Supply Management (ISM), the Association for Supply Chain Management (ASCM), and others relevant to asset management. Access resource, publication, and update provided by this organization. So for the third item is regulatory update. Monitor update from regulatory bodies like ISO and industry specific regulation. Subscribe to newsletter and alert from regulatory authority. So for the last item is networking. Participate in industry conference, seminars, and trade show to network with peers and experts. Join professional online forum and discussion groups to enhance knowledge and experience.
Okay, so for the last questions, I suggest we have data integrity and accuracy. So data accuracy and data integrity for ensuring that all inventory data entered into the system inaccurate. Like the workers must record or make one checklist. So one checklist is we can sort the raw material from their due date. So not due date, like date they come, and so we sort by new and the latest and the last. So we can avoid the expired for the filament because filament cannot expose to the high humidity environment. So next, we must have a transparency on the checklist because maintaining the clear and open access to inventory record for relevant stakeholders. So we cannot fake their document, because this is very important to track the filament or material they use. So lastly, compliance with regulations. Adhering to all relevant industry standard, legal requirement and regulation to ensure ethical and lawful management of asset.
Okay, lastly for me is the conclusion. Okay, by implementing or upgrading an inventory management system, for 3D printing and 3D scanning require careful considerations of ethical standards to ensure transparency, accountability, and integrity. By adopting robust tracking technologies, enforcing clear policies, providing comprehensive training, and implementing security measure, organization and can create a fair and transparent asset tracking system that safeguard against risks such as theft and fraud. This approach not only enhance operational efficiency but also foster a culture of trust and ethical behavior with the organization. Okay, thank you.